Welcome guys, this is Chef LaShawn Williams. This is Cooking at Home with SC State. And today I'm going to show you guys how to make some delicious holiday favorites and making them into a healthier component. Today we're going to do like this amazing, awesome, and delicious rice pilaf that has a mixture of different types of nuts, dried fruits, and apricots. So you got a little bit of sweetness and nutty at the same time. Also, I'm going to show you guys how to make an amazing but delicious, also savory, sweet potato casserole dish. So when you think about sweet potato casseroles, you think about things that's kind of sweet, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of vanilla extract, but this changes your palate a whole lot. We are adding things like Parmesan cheese, garlic, brown butter, sage, breadcrumbs. So we have a little bit of both worlds, something that's a little bit more sweet, things that's a little bit more savory also. Also, I want to add to that collection is that we can't have a Thanksgiving dinner without some delicious green beans. So with that green beans, we're going to add a little bit of twist to it. We're going to have something called Parmesan green beans. The green beans are actually going to be cooked in a nice broth, your flavor, chicken, vegetable, or beef broth, with a little bit of heavy cream and Parmesan cheese added to it to enhance the flavor of the green beans. And also our protein will consist of a garlic herb turkey breast, something that is lean, that is healthy, that doesn't have a lot of fat, that is not high in cholesterol. It is roasted with natural herbs. We're using extra virgin olive oil to also increase the nutritional value of our dish. All right, so what I'm doing right now is that I'm making this harvest rice, and again, the ingredients consist of nuts. So what I'm doing is that I'm taking my nuts and I'm actually toasting them in a saute pan. So now that I have my nuts toasting, I just want to make sure that they're getting lightly brown, not too brown and too much. Pistachios already have a dark color already, but you want to make sure that color, that it stays that color and that you're not making them extra dark. In a separate pot, my saute pot, I have about 1 onion that's been nicely chopped, rough chopped. It doesn't have to be perfect cuts. It doesn't have to be diced or minced, but just a rough chop, you know, of some onions. This is about 1 small onion. I'm gonna cook these onions until they're nice and translucent, where they're not brown, but they are partially done. And once I get those in there, I'm gonna add my rice and I'm gonna add my spices also. My spices consist of some things that we really don't use that much, but we hear about them all the time. Black pepper, cardamom, and also cinnamon, okay? Once I add my seasoning, I wanna go ahead and add some garlic. Next, I'm gonna add my rice, and I'm just giving my rice a nice toss. Just to coat my rice in this pan real well. Once I got my rice in there, then I'm gonna add my apricots and my golden raisins. My next thing, I'm gonna add some chicken broth. And again, you can add water, chicken broth, any liquid that you wanna add to this. I'm just gonna let this simmer just a little bit, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes on real low. The next thing would be for me to add my, my nuts, which would be my pistachios and my almonds. So the way that you can tell when rice is done, of course, it looks like it's done, but what I usually do, I tip my pan to the side. And if I see that there's no water coming off the edge, I know my rice is done. So now today, I'm gonna show you guys how to make this awesome savory sweet potato casserole. So what we're doing today is that I already roasted off some sweet potatoes. This is roughly about 3 to 4 pounds of sweet potatoes. I roast them in the oven, high heat, 350 degrees, about 1.5 hours or till the potatoes, till the skin get a little wrinkled, so to speak. I toss them in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, put them in a roasting pan, pop them in the oven until they were done. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna simply peel my skin off my sweet potatoes. And you wanna do these, you wanna let them cool off. Do not peel them while they're hot because you're gonna burn yourself. But definitely peel them while they are cool or while they're warm, but not fresh out of the oven. So I only want to mix them just enough. I still want to have chunks of potatoes in there. That's the whole idea of making a sweet potato casserole, is that you want to have chunks of potato that's in there, but at the same time you want to make sure that it's nice and smooth so that when they bite into it, they get in that smooth creaminess of pureed potatoes. Now I have my sour cream. I'm gonna go ahead and add my sour cream to my potatoes. And I'm gonna add my Parmesan cheese. And I'm just gonna add about half of my brown butter. And remember, this butter has rosemary and it has sage that's been steeping into this mixture. And I'm just gonna give it a nice little fold just to incorporate the brown butter into my sweet potato mixture. And I'm just gonna scoop my mixture into this casserole dish right here. Add a little bit more brown butter to the top, just a little bit. And I'm gonna add my Parmesan cheese, more cheese. So I have some bacon that's already pre-cooked. I'm just gonna add about maybe 2 to 3 pieces, maybe 3. I'm just gonna crumble the bacon up and put it on top. And that's that. That is your sweet potato casserole. And this is about to go in the oven. Let it bake for about 35 to 40 minutes on 350. So for this rendition of my green beans for a holiday special, I'm gonna do a little bit something different. So my green beans are gonna be called Parmesan green beans, where I have like some canned green beans, some roasted garlic, some bacon, some Parmesan cheese and heavy cream, or a little bit of chicken stock. Now ideally, I like to use this one. If you're using fresh green beans, of course you have to go through the process of actually cooking the green beans until they are finished cooking. But however, you can use canned green beans if you want to speed that process up. I'm gonna add me some heavy cream. I wanna let this liquid reduce, and when I say reduce, that means that I want the liquid to be half the amount that's in here. So whenever you hear that term reduce, dealing with food or liquids, what you're doing is that you're reducing the liquid. You're allowing the liquid to cook and to steam and to evaporate so that there's almost no liquid in there. That's what reduction means. And as your cream is reducing, sprinkling a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top. Eventually that cheese and that milk is gonna come together and make like a nice thick creamy sauce, almost like an Alfredo sauce. All right guys, so this is Chef LaShawn Williams, and now I have my turkey that's already been roasted. So we all know that turkey is a long process of having to cook a protein. So my delicious recipe is that I took like 8 ounces of butter. I took some fresh herbs, some rosemary, some thyme, some oregano, a little bit of parsley, and I mixed it together and made a compound butter. And what I did is that I slathered, when I mean slathered, that I covered my turkey with the butter. And as you can look closely, I took some onions and I cut the onions and I put them in the pan, and I used the onions as a support to hold the turkey up when it was roasting. I roasted my turkey for 3 hours. Every hour I would rotate them around to make sure that I had even bacon in my oven. I also took whatever leftover butter I had and smeared it onto the turkey to make sure that the turkey was nice and it's saturated with butter. I also seasoned the outside with a little bit of salt and pepper. After 2 hours of being in the oven, covered with aluminum foil, I removed the aluminum foil and I allowed the skin to get a little dark just a little bit because I wanted that darker color. And the thing with dishes, turkey, protein, the darker the skin, the more flavor that is possessed in the turkey itself. So I'm going to cut a piece of turkey. I want you to see this nice juiciness of the turkey breast itself, how super moist it is. And once your turkey is finished baking in the oven and they got their internal temperature of 165, allow the turkey to rest for a while. That's one of the biggest issues that we have. Like, oh, the turkeys are dry. because you're cutting the turkey while it is hot still. And when it's hot, all of the natural juices are flowing out of the turkey and it allows it to be dry. Allow it to rest in its natural juices about an hour or two, then cut it, and you'll notice the difference in the taste of the product. All right, guys, so that's it. And this is Chef LaShawn Williams, and thank you for tuning in with Cooking with At Home with SC State. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful meal. Please let me know what you think. By all means, share, and by all means, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.